Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mama Genius Hubpreneur podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, and I have a story for you. I had the vision board, the sales page, even the new headshots, but my offers still weren't selling. And every day, my home office made me feel more stuck. Then someone asks, what if your home is telling the universe you're not ready? That question changed everything. I realized that my environment wasn't aligned with the next version of me. And once I start making small shifts in my space, the energy starts to shift. Clients were reaching out, creativity was returning. That's why today's guest, Althea Eilenfeldt, is here. She teaches moms like us how to feng shui to align our homes with our desires. So success feels like a flow, not a hustle. Mamas, welcome to the Mama Genius Preneur podcast, where real stories spark real transformations for moms ready to bring their visions to life. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of three, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader if you've ever felt pulled to create something bigger, whether it's a business, a book, or a movement, but also felt the weight of daily life slowing you down. You are not alone. In just 15 minutes, we'll dive into insights, strategies, and real stories for women like you. Let's bring your visions to life, starting now. Althea is a holistic therapist, intuitive guide, and certified feng shui expert who specializes in helping women transform their homes into sanctuaries of healing and wealth. Her signature approach blends ancient energy principles with modern design to support women through transitions, especially after burnout, divorce, or deep personal growth. So through her signature Radiant Reset and Soulful Space activations, Althea empowers moms to reclaim their energy and rewrite their story and create homes that reflect their next level self. Welcome to the stage, Althea. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Hi, so happy to be here, and thank you for that amazing intro.
Oh, I love your energy and the light and what it does when we really start to put those two ideas together. And I really was so excited about the idea of really focusing on the home office today because you worked with me a while ago and we had this one session and you just said to me, one thing you said to me was make sure your desk is facing your door to bring in that sense of power and who you are. And as we were restructuring this office downstairs after giving my office to my son and everyone having their own room and restructuring this back room, I was like, in my head, I kept going, the desk has to face that way. I don't know how it's going to happen because my husband kept saying all these other things, but I'm sitting here right now facing the door.
Congratulations! Yes, yes. I mean, that's the idea is that when you face the door, it's like you're facing your life, you're facing your business, because that in feng shui and even in real life is where people come in. So that's where the opportunities come in. And I know a lot of people like to face the window because they like to be able to look out the window. But the window has more to do with your visibility in the world, whereas the door is really where you want to be feeling protected and feeling focused, because when you're able to see who and what is coming your way, it really does help your nervous system. It helps you feel calm and relaxed as well as focused. And in feng shui terms, that's called being in command or being in your power position.
I love that. I just want to repeat that. I'm writing it down as we say, being in command, being in your power position. And I feel as women, we put ourselves in places where we might lose that or cower from that. And so I love this idea of being able to visually think about a space, especially something like an office. And some of us might, as mompreneurs staying at home or stuff, might just have a space like in the house or be work, how do we work around that, and what is the best way to make whatever space possible into the best energy to really put out our creativity and really create this business of our desires. So I'm gonna leave that to you to kind of like, how do we pick that best space?
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, we don't necessarily always want to be in commands all day long, right? But when specifically, especially when you're sitting in your office and you're working with clients, it's that's definitely one of those times where it really does make a difference to feel like you are grounded, you're in your power, you see what's in front of you. And you can also feel supported by what's behind you. And a lot of this is really primal. I mean, because, the idea of this came from ancient China when people really had to protect themselves, right? So homes would be situated uh, where there would be a mountain behind you, which is kind of like that symbolic of that protective energy. And the idea is like an army is less likely to come up from a mountain. They're more likely to come from a valley where it's easier to get to you. So the idea is to be able to see, to kind of have the mountain behind you, which would be like your chair, right? Like a high back chair that's really supporting you, or a wall. And then you see everything that's in front of you. And that is what allows your body to feel more relaxed, more focused, more calm, more ready. And it also represents like being open to more money, more opportunities, more clients.
I love that. And it's funny because as you say that, your mountain behind you, I look back at, so I've been working on my shelf back here, and actually my youngest daughter helped me. She wanted to help organize it and help put her touch on it. And so I actually can't see at the moment, the handprint up at the top is actually her. It was a Mother's Day gift. And she looked and she goes, I don't want, that's so embarrassing. I'm like, no one needs to know what it is, but I know it's there. And you're with me all day during my workday, even if you're at school. I got that reminder in the back of me too. And so I love the idea of just put the things around us that bring that positive energy to our day and to lifting our souls up as we are doing our work and getting our messages out there.
Absolutely, because I think it's often a missing component in our healing and in calling in what we desire. Because you could be doing a lot of the inner work, you could be, taking action, you can have the strategy, but our environment is a bigger entity than we are, and we spend so much of our time inside. I think it's 62% in the home, right? So we want to really be mindful of what we are surrounding ourselves with so that we're feeling supported by the environment, along with all of the inner work and strategy that we're.
And when we come back from the break right now, I want to really focus on that concept of wealth and what are some of the key tips that you can give us to how to create that environment that helps us surround that. We'll be right back. Are you a mompreneur who feels a fire to create something bigger, a business, a movement, a message, but you don't want to do it alone? That's why I've created the Mama Genius Hub, a space where your vision is nurtured, your voice is heard, and your dreams grow alongside a supportive community. Inside the hub, you'll get bite-sized insights and strategies in 15-minute sessions. A community of like-minded moms who truly get it. Support to bring your vision to life without burnout. If ready to build your business and impact while staying true to yourself, join us today at connectingmamas.com. Your calling matters. Let's grow it together. And so we really want to focus on, and of course, come join us in our free groups. We can discuss this even more. But Althea, let's focus on that idea of wealth. And when we're thinking about that office, what are some of the things that we can set up in Feng Shui that helps us really call that into us?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say the number one thing is how you place your desk. Like that would be the go-to. And so you want to have your desk ideally at a diagonal from your front door to that room, so that you can see the door at all times, but also to make sure that you have space on both sides of your desk so that the energy is also flowing and not right. So if you have the desk in a corner, then you might still feel that feeling of being stuck in your business. And so if it's possible, that's like the ideal situation for your desk. And then on top of that, being mindful of the things that you're surrounding yourself with, and possibly refreshing the energy in the office, refreshing what you have in the office. So if there are areas that feel really cluttered, taking a look at where you're feeling really good about the space, or where you're feeling like you just don't feel the energy in those items, you don't love them. And when you're surrounded by items that you love, right, that really inspire you, then your energy is more uplifted when you sit down to work.
Now, I want to take it back to the basics just a little bit because I mean, we're using the idea of energy, and there might be some moms are like, okay, what does she mean by that? And like, so what are some tips you could say, like, to how to check in with how the energy is making you feel? Or do you have any ideas of like someone who is like, what is the heck is, what are they even talking about this whole energy thing?
Yeah. Okay. So in Feng Shui, there's something called the Feng Shui Bagua, which is essentially the energetic map of your entire home as well as of each room in your home. So if you wanted to just apply the Bagua to your office space, when you're standing at your front door, you can locate what's called the wealth corner, right? That's the energy center for money, for abundance. And so the wealth corner is always going to be in the top left corner of your office space. So the far back left corner of your office space when you're standing at your front door.
So facing into the office, or
Standing from at the front door facing into the office, you locate the far back left corner, and that is your abundance corner. Each room can be divided into 9 equal squares. So there's going to be 9 different energy centers in the space. So the abundance corner is one of those 9. And then just pay attention. What is in this area? And notice, is it clutter? Is it a closet that's full of closet clutter? Do you have items that were given to you by people that you are not even in your life anymore, or that you have a negative association with? So right, so the first step is just paying attention to what is in that area and what feels stuck. What can I let go of? Is there anything that is not representative of me now and who I am becoming?
ooh, I like that. So can you say that for us one more time?
So looking in the wealth corner and paying attention to any objects that you feel like do not represent who you are now and who are you becoming in your business.
I love that. I just want to focus on that phrasing, becoming who you are in your business and really having that vision of who you are seeing as that person, and really now structuring the things around you based on that vision of who you are becoming, what you're seeing in this business. And I hate that we're running out of time, but we're going to do some takeaways first in just a moment, and just really kind of revigorize the steps and the things you could do. And I love to say that Althea does have a mini course inside the hub for us to learn even more about the Bagua as well, and really creating the space. And she's invited to really be able to tell us and answer some of your questions about all of this. I'd also love for other people to tell you how else you can get a hold of you.
Well, you can easily find me on Instagram or Facebook at Althea Eilenfeldt, ALTHEA ELLEA.
Oh, I love that so much. And we're going to throw you backstage for just a moment as I go through our big 5 takeaways from Althea. And so, wow, just in that small, short aspect of really, number 1 is really putting your door so that you are facing your desk, so you are facing the door. I don't know why I keep saying that backwards, but it helps you focus. You're feeling that protective feelings. You're being connected, and you're putting yourself in that power position. I can tell you, I can feel it now, and why I kept listening to her as when I was creating this space. I was like, as she said, that was the most important thing. There still is, as she's saying that, I can see the clutter around a little bit. But number 2 leads you into really seeing what the purpose behind that is. is when you're thinking about that war times, that you want to see the valley in front of you and have that mountain behind you. So I think of this as my mountain right here, right? Feeling that supportive things behind you that lift you up so that you're able to face whatever's coming in front of you, and you're feeling that. And so that takes us to number 3, is really thinking about our environment as a bigger entity than just brushing it off. And really thinking about how can we be mindful of it and help us feel supported rather than feel cluttered or trapped in it. And then that leads us to number 4, where we're having that feeling of energy flowing between us and both sides. And how she said, if we can, having that desk and that diagonal, so we're feeling the energy all around it and feeling that you are truly in that support and feeling the surrounding of you. And then leads us into number 5, where she starts mentioning the Feng Shui Bagua and really finding that wealth corner. And when you find that wealth corner, that ninth spot looking from the front door to the back left-hand corner, feeling in that space of, are there things that are suiting you, or are there things that are not suiting that person that you are becoming in your business, and really keeping that vision when you're creating the space around you. And this is a process, not a one-step thing. So Althea, what is your final takeaway for us?
Oh gosh, just start with one small step at a time, and notice the differences that you feel. I mean, just the act of letting things go that just don't feel like you anymore can really lift your energy. And then, if you're interested in taking it a step further, you can also learn more about what specifically to bring in with intention, to call in more wealth. This is just scratching the surface.
Again, we're always scratching the surface in the 15-minute time frame, but it's and it is still moving us forward to that next step in thinking the process. Is this something that I need to, that feels called to work on for me right now, or something maybe I'll squirrel away for a little while and then be ready for it later? On that note, thank you so much, Althea, and we'll see you on the next episode.
That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. I hope you found something in these 15 minutes that sparked action towards your dreams. Remember, your purpose matters, your dreams are valid, and you are not alone. If today's conversation spoke to you, come join us at the Mama Genius Hub, where you'll find support, strategy, and sisterhood to turn your calling into real impact. Let's grow this together at connectingmamas.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. If this resonates with you, share it with another mom here who needs to hear this. We'll see you next time.